It was a stormy night in the heart of Florida. The rain tapped on our window panes like impatient fingers, and the lightning danced across the darkened sky. My son Timmy and I huddled in the living room, watching the tempest rage outside. As the thunder growled in the distance, the atmosphere was thick with tension. The flickering candles cast eerie shadows on the walls, and the howling wind added an ominous soundtrack to our quiet evening. Just as we were beginning to feel safe and cozy, a loud crash echoed from our backyard. Timmy and I exchanged anxious glances. Our hearts raced as we made our way to the window. In the dim, stormy night, I spotted a figure crouched near the tree line, partially obscured by the rain-soaked bushes. The rain poured down like a curtain, making it impossible to make out any details. We couldn't see their face, only a silhouette against the flickering lightning. My voice trembling, I whispered, "Who could that be, Timmy?" He clung to my side, fear evident in his eyes. "I don't know, Dad, but we should call the police." Just as I reached for my phone, the figure in the backyard rose slowly, their movements unnatural and disjointed. They began to walk towards the house, each step closer sending a shiver down my spine. The lightning illuminated their face for a split second, revealing hollow, emotionless eyes and a sinister grin. Panic washed over me as I realized this was no ordinary intruder. Their sinister appearance and eerie demeanor filled me with dread. Timmy and I ran to the door, desperately trying to escape, but the figure was faster. They were inside the house before we could lock the door behind us. The intruder's voice, a chilling whisper, filled the room. "You can't escape me." The lightning revealed their face once more, and to our horror, it was identical to mine. With trembling hands, I reached for the fireplace poker, my only defense. As the intruder lunged at us, I swung the poker, striking them in the chest. But to my disbelief, the figure dissipated into a cloud of black mist and vanished. The storm outside began to calm, and the tension in the room lifted. Timmy and I were left shaken but alive, the encounter a haunting memory etched into our minds. In the aftermath, we discovered an old family photograph showing an uncle who had died under mysterious circumstances years ago. He had worn the same eerie expression as the intruder. The chilling encounter left us with a lesson. Sometimes, the scariest things can be closer than you think, lurking in the shadows of your past. It's a lesson that still sends shivers down our spines and keeps us looking over our shoulders, even on the calmest of nights. Remember that true terror can come from the most unexpected sources. Sometimes the scariest encounters are the ones that you can't escape, no matter how hard you try. Keep a vigilant eye on your past, for sometimes it may come back to haunt you in the most unexpected ways. The rain fell in thick sheets, drumming relentlessly on the roof of my car as I navigated the winding, desolate road. Thunder rumbled ominously, and the lightning strikes illuminated the night for brief, eerie moments. I had never felt more isolated as I continued my solitary drive through the storm. Then, like a nightmare emerging from the darkness, I saw him. A figure dressed entirely in white stood motionless at the roadside. His drenched, pale hair clung to his face, obscuring his features. My heart raced, and I couldn't decide whether to stop or speed away. Curiosity got the better of me, and I pulled over, my heart pounding like a drum in the storm. He approached my car with an unhurried gait. A face hidden beneath the rain-slicked strands of hair. His white clothes stuck to his gaunt frame. He raised a trembling hand and beckoned me to roll down my window. "Can you help me?" His voice quivered, sending shivers down my spine. "Help you with what?" I stammered, my unease growing. "My car broke down and I'm stranded here. Please, I need a ride to the nearest town," he implored. Reluctantly, I unlocked the doors. He slipped into the passenger seat, and the eerie silence stretched on. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong, but I couldn't pinpoint it. As I drove, he began speaking in hushed tones about an accident that had claimed his wife's life. His white-knuckled grip on the door handle made me realize he was lying. I glanced at him, my heart racing, and noticed his chilling, empty eyes. The man in white was no ordinary hitchhiker. He was something far more sinister. Panic welled up within me, and I knew I had to escape. Swerving the car onto the roadside, I slammed on the brakes, causing the mysterious man to tumble out of the car. I sped away, not looking back, praying he hadn't latched onto my escape. After what felt like an eternity, I reached the safety of a gas station. I recounted my nightmarish encounter to the attendant, and he called the police. They arrived and combed the area, but found no trace of the man in white. The rain continued to pour, and I shivered, wondering what could have happened if I hadn't trusted my instincts. I thought I had escaped a terrible fate, but the fear remained. So, dear listener, if you ever find yourself on a rainy road in the dead of night and see a figure dressed in white, trust your gut and do not stop. There are things in the dark that we can't explain, and some encounters are better left unexplored. The relentless rain pounded the windshield of my car, a cacophony of dread that matched the growing knot in my stomach. My headlights cut through the sheets of water, revealing only fleeting glimpses of the dark, winding road. I should have never ventured out on a night like this. Suddenly, a blinding flash of lightning seared the sky, momentarily illuminating a figure standing in the middle of the road. I slammed on the brakes, my tires skidding on the wet asphalt as my car collided with an oak tree. My heart raced and my breath came in ragged gasps as I struggled to regain my composure. I fumbled for my phone, desperately trying to call for help. The rain showed no mercy, seeping into the cabin through shattered glass. A voice on the other end assured me that the police were on their way, but I was alone in the dark, trembling with fear. Minutes turned into hours, and just when I thought my terror couldn't escalate further, I saw him. A tall, gaunt man, dressed in a tattered white suit, appeared in the rain-soaked distance. His face was obscured by darkness, and he moved with an eerie, disjointed grace. "Are you okay?" I called out, my voice quaking. No response. The figure drew closer, every step echoing like a death knell. I could barely see his twisted smile as he emerged into the feeble glow of my car's hazard lights. Panic overwhelmed me, and I locked the doors. He circled the car, running his bony fingers along the drenched windows. His pale, clammy skin glistened in the rain, and his eyes bore into mine with an unholy intensity. It was then that I saw the bloodstains on his clothes, the jagged scars crisscrossing his wrists. The police arrived just in time, dragging the menacing stranger away as he hissed and thrashed. They whispered to me about a man named Marcus Green, a notorious serial killer who preyed on lost souls during stormy nights. My near miss with this unholy entity left me shaken to my core. The encounter changed me forever. The world that once seemed safe now held lurking horrors. My advice to anyone who hears this tale: never venture out on stormy nights, and if you do, be wary of the menacing figures who may appear in the rain. Darkness hides the unimaginable, and we may never know when it chooses to reveal itself. As for me, I pray I'll never cross paths with Marcus Green again. But every stormy night, I can't help but wonder if he's out there, lurking in the rain, ready to drench us all in fear once more.